Ladies and gentlemen, let's cut to the chase. If you're not putting in the time, energy, and effort to build yourself, grow yourself, upgrade yourself, then what are you even doing? You are the most important asset in your life, not your job, not your paycheck, not your followers or your fancy car or the opinions of people you don't even like, you. Because let me tell you something most people miss. Everything in your life rises and falls with you. Your mindset, your skills, your confidence, your clarity, these are the foundations. And if those aren't strong, I don't care what kind of opportunity comes your way, you'll blow it. You're not going to attract what you want. You're going to attract what you believe you're worthy of. And if you're not investing in yourself daily, you're subconsciously telling the world, I'm not worth it. Let me ask you a hard question. When was the last time you actually invested in yourself? I don't mean buying another planner. I mean sat down and did the uncomfortable work. Read the books. Took the course, woke up early, got serious about your health, showed up to therapy, had the hard conversation, wrote the business plan, practiced the skill, hired the coach, because successful people, they aren't special, they're intentional. They don't wait to feel ready. They don't wait for permission. They don't scroll all day fantasizing about a life they're not willing to work for. They build, they grow, they study, they train, they repeat. And the beautiful part, you can do that too, but only if you decide to. And yes, it's a decision. It's not luck. It's not timing. It's a conscious choice to say, I am going to bet on me, period. You know what separates winners from everyone else? It's not talent. It's not resources. It's the belief that the time they spend on themselves is never wasted. That reading one book could shift their entire perspective. That one uncomfortable conversation could open the door to opportunity. That one daily ritual done consistently could completely change their life. And guess what? They're right. But most people, they spend more money on Netflix than they do on personal growth. They'll spend $200 on shoes, but won't spend $20 on a course that teaches them how to communicate better. They'll binge TikTok for hours, but say they don't have time to meditate for 5 minutes. Come on. Let me be real with you. If you don't invest in your mind, your health, your habits, your vision, you will stay stuck. Growth doesn't happen accidentally. It doesn't show up in an Amazon box. It happens when you decide to take radical ownership of your life. And here's the best part. Every single ounce of effort you put into yourself, it compounds. One book becomes 10. One confident decision leads to another. One hard truth sets you free. And before you know it, you're not even recognizable compared to who you were a year ago. And all because you stopped waiting for someone else to fix it and you fixed it yourself. You are not a side project. You are not someone else's backup plan. You are the main event. And it's about time you started treating yourself like it. The world will try to convince you that you're not enough, that you're too late, that you're not smart enough or pretty enough or rich enough or talented enough. Ignore all of it, because the truth is you have everything you need. Inside of you, you just haven't fully committed to unlocking it yet. You want confidence. Earn it through discipline. You want peace, create it through boundaries. You want success, build it through consistent effort. There is no fast track, there is no easy way, but there is a right way, and that's choosing yourself every single day, especially when it's hard. So if you're sitting there thinking, where do I even start? Let me tell you, start small, but start now. Read 10 pages today, walk 10 minutes, write 1 paragraph, make 1 better choice. Start that thing you've been avoiding, because you investing in you, that's the move that changes everything. The best version of your life is not found in someone else's Instagram highlight reel. It's found in the quiet, unsexy, disciplined moments where you show up for yourself over and over again. That's the truth. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, and start betting on the only investment that is 100% guaranteed to pay off. Yeah. When you treat yourself like your greatest asset, everything changes. Think about it. If you owned $1 billion company, you'd protect it, nurture it, invest in it, and prioritize its growth, right? That's exactly how you should be treating yourself, because your potential is more valuable than any stock portfolio. But most people don't see it that way. They treat themselves like an afterthought, like a side hustle, like something they'll get to when everything else is done. That mindset is exactly what's keeping them stuck. You want better results, better relationships, better health, better finances? Then start with you. your energy, your focus, your mental health, your habits. These are the engines that drive your entire life. And the harsh truth is, no one else is responsible for building that engine except you. So, if you're exhausted, uninspired, unclear, or constantly stuck in the same loop, that's your signal. It's not a sign to work harder. It's a sign to start working smarter by putting yourself first. We live in a culture that praises overworking and self-sacrifice like it's a badge of honor. Asleep when you're dead.
A grind now, shine later.
It sounds motivating, but it's actually toxic because what you're doing is pouring from an empty cup. You're chasing external success without a solid internal foundation. And eventually, that leads to burnout, resentment, and a whole lot of self-doubt. That's why treating yourself like your most valuable investment is the real flex, not the grind, not the hustle. The intentional, strategic effort to grow into the person who can handle the life you say you want. Here's the deal. Your mind, your health, and your habits, they determine the ceiling of your success. And if you're not growing, you're capping your potential. You can't pour more into your business, your career, your relationships if you're running on empty. So start showing up for yourself the same way you show up for others. Start carving out time like it's sacred, because it is. Start listening to yourself, trusting yourself, challenging yourself. And yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. Growth always does. But that's the point. That discomfort, it's feedback. It's proof you're stepping outside the same tired loop you've been stuck in for years. People think a self-investment means spa days or buying fancy journals. Fancy journal. And hey, nothing wrong with that. But real self-investment, it looks like waking up early to do the thing you've been avoiding. It looks like saying a no to people who drain you. It looks like finally going to therapy or finishing that online course or committing to a morning routine that actually fuels your brain and body. It looks like doing the work no one sees, but that changes everything. And let's talk about how self-investment changes your energy. Because when you treat yourself like your greatest asset, your energy becomes magnetic. You stop looking for validation from others because you're giving it to yourself through action. You stop tolerating nonsense because you respect your time too much. You stop hiding behind excuses because you've proven to yourself that you can do hard things. That kind of energy, it's powerful. People feel it. Opportunities open up. You begin to attract better simply because you've become better. And I need you to hear this. You don't need anyone's permission to invest in yourself. You don't need a green light from your friends, your parents, or your partner. You don't need someone to get it. This is your life, your path, your potential. And if they don't see it yet, that's fine. Let them watch. Let them witness the results of a person who decided to take themselves seriously. So where do you start? You start by getting radically honest. What's one area you've been neglecting? Your health? Your learning? Your finances? Your mindset? Pick one. Start there. No shame, no guilt, just action. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to read or meditate. Maybe it's replacing 1 hour of Netflix with journaling or planning. Maybe it's signing up for that course you've been eyeing. The actions don't have to be massive. They just have to be consistent. That's where transformation lives. And don't fall into the trap of perfectionism. You don't need to get it all right on day one. You just need to keep showing up. Daily. Relentlessly, even when it's inconvenient, especially when it's inconvenient. Because that's how you rewire your identity from I'm trying to I'm committed. Treating yourself like your greatest asset doesn't mean you're selfish. It means you're smart. It means you know that your future, your dreams, and your legacy depend on the choices you make today. And that doesn't happen by accident. It happens by intention. It happens when you stop waiting for someone else to fix your life and start becoming the kind of person who creates the life they want. So make that move. Get serious about you. Prioritize your growth like your life depends on it, because it does. You are not your job title. You are not your past. You are not what they said about you or the mistakes you've made. You are potential. You are power. You are your greatest asset. Now act like it. You're no longer relying on motivation or hype. You're building discipline. You're rewiring your brain to expect follow-through. And suddenly, the hard things don't feel so hard anymore, because they're part of who you are. That's what creates unstoppable momentum. Not some magical morning routine, not some viral productivity hack. Just you, showing up for yourself like it actually matters, because it does. Consistency is what turns average into excellence. It's what turns doubt into belief. It's what transforms wishful thinking into real-world results. And the beautiful thing, you're always one decision away from being consistent today. So stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop telling yourself you'll start when things settle down. Life will never slow down long enough to hand you the perfect opportunity. You create the opportunity by taking action today, tomorrow, and the day after that. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a daily habit. You need a mindset that says, I don't need to do everything. I just need to do something. And that something, repeated daily, becomes everything. You want to change your life? Change what you do consistently. That's it. That's the key. It's not sexy, but it works. Show up, do the work, and watch who you become. Most people think success is some mysterious formula, reserved for a chosen few who have the right connections, the right luck, or the right background. But the truth is, success is often a result of mastering the boring stuff. The small daily disciplines that seem insignificant in the moment but compound over time into extraordinary results. It's not glamorous. It's not dramatic. It's not viral, but it works. And that's what successful people understand. They know that what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. Excellence is a habit, not an event. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't skip it for weeks and then expect to fix everything with one intense brushing session, right? That would be ridiculous. Yet we treat our goals, our health, our mindset that way all the time. We binge workout after months of sitting. We try to crush a week's worth of productivity in one chaotic Sunday. But life doesn't reward intensity. It rewards consistency. The secret is in the routine. The seemingly small actions that create massive ripple effects. Getting up early, reading 10 pages of a good book, moving your body, drinking water, planning your day, saying no to things that don't serve your priorities. These don't seem life-changing in the moment, but done daily, they absolutely are. They sharpen your mind, boost your energy, and reinforce your identity as someone who takes control of their life. And once that identity is locked in, everything else gets easier. But let's be real, it's not always exciting. Most days, it's repetitive. There's no applause. No one's posting about it, but successful people don't need the hype. They don't chase the dopamine hit of something new. They fall in love with the process. They know that if they nail the basics, if they dominate the fundamentals, they can build something powerful and lasting. You want to write a book? Write a page every day. You want to get in shape? Move for 30 minutes daily. You want to be a better speaker, coach, leader? Practice your craft every single day, even if it's just for 15 minutes. Do it when no one is watching. Do it when it feels pointless. Do it especially when it's hard, because that's when you grow the most. We've been conditioned to expect quick results. We live in a world of instant gratification. One-click shopping, same-day delivery, 15-second entertainment. But success, real, meaningful, lasting success, that's slow. It's unsexy. It's the stuff no one sees. It's waking up early to write when you'd rather sleep. It's saying no to Netflix and yes to that business plan. It's logging the reps, even when you're not motivated, because motivation fades, but discipline builds. And this is where most people quit. They do the work for a few days, maybe a few weeks. But when they don't see immediate results, they get frustrated. They say, it's not working. No, it is working. You just haven't done it long enough to see the payoff. The universe isn't Amazon Prime. Fiat prioriste. You don't get results in 48 hours. You get them by stacking effort on top of effort, day after day, until the results become undeniable. This is why the daily grind matters. It's where confidence is built. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted, that you're the kind of person who keeps showing up no matter what, and that self-trust, that's priceless. It changes the way you walk into rooms. It changes the way you speak, lead, perform. It rewires your brain to expect success, not hope for it. Because you're not guessing, you've put in the work. And let's be clear, success isn't about being perfect. You will slip up. You'll have days when you miss the workout, scroll too long, mess up the routine. That's life. What matters is how quickly you bounce back. What matters is your ability to reset and recommit. Successful people don't have superhuman willpower. They just have systems, routines, habits that act like autopilot. So even when motivation is gone, the system keeps them going. Start small. Start small. Pick 3 non-negotiables that align with who you want to become. Maybe it's 20 minutes of movement, reading 10 pages, and writing down your top 3 priorities for the day. That's it. Start there. Make it so easy you can't talk yourself out of it. And then repeat daily, relentlessly. Because success isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters consistently. This is how you become unstoppable. Not by doing everything, but by doing the right things every single day, by turning daily discipline into your superpower, by making excellence a standard, not a mood. So when people wonder how you got there, how you built the body, wrote the book, launched the business, it won't be some dramatic story. It'll be simple. You just did the work when others made excuses. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop looking for shortcuts. Master the basics. Own your day before it owns you. Build habits that make success inevitable. And remember, it's not what you do once in a while that defines you. It's what you do daily. That's the difference maker. That's the game changer. That's the game changer. That's how successful people build lives they're proud of. One disciplined day at a time. Most people live their entire lives reacting. Reacting to emails, to the demands of others, to what happened yesterday, to how they feel today. It's a never-ending cycle of waking up, getting pulled into the chaos, and ending the day exhausted, but feeling like nothing meaningful got done. That's the trap. That's how average is created. By default, not design. But successful people don't operate on default. They create their day on purpose. They understand that how you start your day determines how you live your life. Think about it. The first hour of your day is your launch pad. It sets the tone. It defines your energy, your clarity, and your momentum. If you start your day mindlessly scrolling on your phone, hitting snooze, or running late, you're not in control. Your day is controlling you. You're handing over your mindset to chance, and that's dangerous. And that's dangerous because if your mind is not primed for focus, for purpose, for productivity, then the world will fill it with noise, distraction, and stress. Successful people know this. They guard their mornings like a sacred ritual. They don't stumble into the day. They step into it with intention. They create routines that fuel their body, sharpen their mind, and ignite their motivation before the world has a chance to interrupt. This isn't about perfection. It's about preparation. It's about giving yourself a psychological edge before the rest of the world even wakes up. And no, it doesn't mean you have to get up at 4 a.m. and do an ice bath followed by a 10-mile run while reciting affirmations. That's not the point. The point is to create a routine that works for you, one that energizes you, grounds you, and reminds you who you are and what you're working for. Word something simple. Don't reach for your phone first. That alone is a game changer. Give yourself the first 30-60 minutes without input from the outside world. No news, no text, no notifications. Just you, your thoughts, your goals. Your goals. This is the time to pour into yourself before you pour into anyone else. Successful people do this because they know their energy is their responsibility. They don't leave it to chance. They create it. And the way you create energy is through movement, mindset, and momentum. Move your body, get the blood flowing, shake off the mental fog, feed your mind, read something that inspires you, write down what you're grateful for, visualize your goals like they're already real. These aren't fluffy habits. They are neuroscience-backed strategies for getting your brain into a peak state. When you take control of your morning, you set the foundation for everything that follows. You're not reacting anymore. You're responding. You're not surviving the day. You're owning it. You make decisions faster. You handle problems better. You stay focused on what truly matters instead of getting pulled into distractions. And let's talk about momentum. Because it's everything. Starting the day with small wins builds momentum. Making your bed, drinking a full glass of water, writing down your goals. These might seem insignificant, but they signal to your brain, we're in control. We're making progress. And progress is addictive. The more you create it, the more you want it. That's how you build unstoppable drive. But here's the truth. Most people know this. They've read about morning routines, they've heard the podcasts, they've seen the YouTube videos, but they don't follow through. Why? Because they wait until they feel like doing it. And that's the mistake. Successful people don't rely on feelings. They rely on decisions. Discipline beats motivation every time. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. There will be days when you don't want to get up early, when the alarm feels like your enemy, when the comfort of bed is louder than your dreams. That's where the magic happens, because they've decided who they are, and they back it up with action. So what does that look like in real life? It looks like hitting the gym when your bed is calling. Like saying no to distractions so you can finish what you started. Like making the phone call you're dreading, having the uncomfortable conversation, staying late to fix your mistakes. These are the decisions that shape your future. Not the once-in-a-lifetime moments, but the hundreds of everyday ones. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about being perfect. It's not about never slipping up. It's about choosing to get back on track faster. Every time you decide to try again, to recommit, to realign, you build resilience. You train yourself to rise. And over time, that resilience compounds. It becomes who you are. You become someone who doesn't just talk about goals, you act on them. Someone who doesn't shrink in the face of fear, but walks through it. Someone who doesn't rely on motivation, but creates momentum. And guess what? When you start making decisions like that, people notice. Opportunities show up. Confidence builds, doors open, not because you got lucky, but because you earned it. You voted for it again and again until the world couldn't ignore it anymore. So the question isn't, what do you want? It's what are you choosing right now to become? You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to make the next right decision, the one that aligns with the future you want, the one that supports the version of you that you're building. Start there, then do it again and again. Let your life become a reflection of the decisions you make when no one watching. Because success is not reserved for the chosen few. It's not a mystery. It's not magic. It's math. It's repetition. It's consistent, courageous decision-making stacked day after day until greatness becomes your normal. Until excellence becomes who you are, not just what you do. You don't have to wait. Again, you don't need permission. The power to transform your life isn't out there somewhere. It's in your next decision, and the one after that, and the one after that. Start choosing like your future depends on it, because it does. It does.